And we're live. Look at this. What are we? Tuesday. Tuesday? It is Tuesday, isn't it? It's not still Monday. I'm just not good with days. Please tell me it's not still Monday. It must be Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I feel confident. I feel confident it's Tuesday. But you can tell from my indecision, I'm not 100% confident. Hello, Locust Trooper and Megaleech and Andrew Osborne. Hello. Hello. You can tell I kind of ended up doing a whole bunch of things at the last minute just for the live stream, so I'm not really ready. Got to make a cocktail video, so I got my cocktail making clothes on. PBR, the curve. Look, you're not the only one who's going to be driven crazy by this. It's not normal. It's quite weird, and we're only a couple days in, and it's 6 weeks. It's yeah, it's going to send a few people a bit spare. And hello, Stella and Invisible Chicken. Ugh, so get myself all kitted out. Oh wait, where did I? One of the bonuses I got from Starwood Whiskey that's was so kind to send me was a little enamel badge. I'm going to wear that on my vest while I make videos. Kirsten actually packed it for me and threw in a few extras. Okay. Like Strippy, I was all over the place, definitely. Justin, yes, I believe what's happening in New Zealand is a limited lockdown in one of the big cities for a couple of days to see if they've got a problem, because there were some new cases and they have no idea where they came from, which is, of course, how shit starts with this fucking pandemic. 4 cases confirmed in one household. So there's been 4 cases in the community, first time in more than 100 days. Same household, source of infection is unknown. Auckland will enter a 4-day level 3 lockdown while cases are investigated. It's interesting. The first case person has no history of overseas travel. So it's like a 7-person household and 4 of them tested positive. So Auckland gets level 3, so that's fairly restricted, and the rest of New Zealand's under level 2, which is somewhat of a restriction. So they're taking it pretty seriously. Megalich got 1 new case in Tassie. Ooh. Stella, yes, an extra special fuck you to Clive Palmer. Yes. Yeah, for all sorts of reasons. But he's bullshit for threatening the West Australian government. I fucking hate these rich cunts who think they can dictate things. Stella, you reckon you've actually got a quarantine dungeon for PBR? I don't know. He might be up for it. Oh, there you go. He's up for it. Hello, Annette. Hello. Justin, what are the chances Christmas will be cancelled? Well, Christmas is a concept. You can't cancel it. What are the chances we'll be under restrictions where you won't be able to visit family? If your family's interstate, unfortunately, there's a reasonable chance. If your family's in the same state, you'll be fine. I don't think there'll be severe restrictions. But hey, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? That is way too far away to make solid predictions. Hey, Toronto Maple Leaf, how you going? Locust Trooper, I categorically have not been watching football. The answer to am I watching the football match, no matter what football match, will always be no. In what city is there a game with a crowd of 60,000 people? Because wherever that is, that seems really fucking stupid. Stella, all right. Doing some dishes and keeping an eye on PBR. Ethwarita. Oh, yes. You're coming in on your YouTube account instead of Facebook. Oh, good. You might have locked yourself out of another Google account. Damn. Justin, family across 4 states, 2 countries. Yep. Across countries, there is no way anyone is traveling international. Well, actually, that's not strictly speaking true. There's lots of places where people will be traveling internationally. Don't expect to have a good time if you travel out of Australia, because even if it becomes somewhat legal, there is basically no doubt that you'll have a 2-week enforced quarantine when you come back. Why don't I like football? I just don't care about football. It's just not my thing. I don't begrudge anyone else who wants to get into the football. Do your thing. It's just not my thing. So, sing. Oh, shite. Toronto Maple, if you're trying to find sleep at 6 a.m. Oof. I'm not sure what your work or day schedule is, but yeah, I think once it gets to 6 a.m., if you're awake, you're just awake at that point. Yeah, which is yeah, that's unfortunate. Getting whether it's recurring insomnia or just one bad night. I really dislike having sleep interrupted. Bill and Melinda will sort this all out. I don't know. Oh my god, fucking what's his name? Norman Swan with the massive downer the other day, talking to an expert, an epidemiologist, and they were saying even if someone came out of a lab tomorrow and said, we have a vaccine that we're confident works, it wouldn't be widely available inside of 18 months, which was pretty fucking bleak, I thought. I mean, I'd been telling people best case scenario is probably a year, like halfway through next year. But to say best case scenario 18 months is a bit fucking bleak. Like a trooper, no, I have zero interest in watching football. No interest at all. This feels like a waste of time to me. Yes, Toronto Maple. Most countries are enforcing a 2-week quarantine if you go there, and then 2 weeks when you go home. So that's 4 weeks even without thing. Oh, you've got 2 days off work, so sleep when it gets to you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And yes, of course, Norman Swan's from Glasgow, so he's probably Presbyterian, and they're bleak as fuck. Yes, true. Yeah, Justin, you'd want a real good reason for international travel. Although there was a whole thing of Europeans thinking they could travel, like all these Brits going to go to Spain and whatnot. And it's just like people start moving around. The fucking virus starts moving around with them. It's pretty fucking straightforward. Andrew, you're going to apply for a visa to get back to Australia for October. If you're a resident or citizen, you can. It's just you'll be in quarantine that you'll probably have to pay for at least 2 weeks. Like, Shroop, you like watching poker? No, I also have no interest in watching poker, but it's cool, man. If you're into it, go for it. Yeah, it's Pepsi Max. My whole evening has been running a bit late. I cooked a little chicken roast thingy, which took longer than I thought it would. I should have started sooner, obviously. So I had dinner about an hour later than I normally would, and I was having a drink of Pepsi with dinner, and there's some of it left. So the spritz of grapefruit juice in it because I'm fancy. People at least haven't turned into Portland yet. I'm completely on the same side as the protesters in Portland. Fuck the police. Annette Colbert did a thing on his show about how Europeans have just realized through the US pandemic omnishambles, USA generally is an omnishambles. Yeah, it's there was an article a lot of people have been sharing. I haven't read it yet, published by Rolling Stone, is basically saying the COVID's laid bare the collapse of the USA, and that seems like a fairly compelling narrative, quite honestly. Andrew, you're a Canadian in Kingston. Yeah, I think anyone who's not a citizen or resident has to have a dang good reason for coming to Australia now. And I'm not sure what controls are on that. But yes, the moving internationally, not the best idea at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, the chicken was good, Toronto, mate. Like, yeah, I just got it from the supermarket. It was a pre-prepared boneless roast with stuffing and, the roast veggies, and that was good. Looks Triple likes the Texas Hold'em. Yeah, I mean, I guess that poker is conceptually interesting to me because there's strategy and there's psychology and there's all those things, but it's like, yeah, this is just not my thing. And they're not yet at the point of having an accidental explosion like Beirut, but going in that direction. I reckon if you did a thorough audit of the United States, you would probably find dozens, if not hundreds, of sites that are as dangerous as that site that blew up in Beirut. And it's only luck that has avoided said explosion from happening. I have no doubt at all in cities all across America, incredibly dangerous chemicals being stored illegally near population dense areas. I'd have no doubt about that at all. And Justin, I have seen that as well. The Republicans trying to fuck up the US Postal Service because with the pandemic and all, there's likely to be a lot of postal voting, and they want to fuck it up. Yeah. Ooh, Georgia Maple USA's been a hollowed out husk of the American dream for years, possibly decades. About time people started seeing the truth. It's if it was anywhere else in the world, the US would be insisting on sending in troops or bombing it. Locust Trooper won 4K one night playing Texas at Crown. That was a big night. Sounds like a good time. PBR, there was a huge factory explosion. Oh, I didn't hear about that. The day after Beirut. I know that one. Chris, hello. How are you? Yes, and also wait until America finds out there's oil in America as well. I want to liberate that. It'll get very confusing. It'll get very, very confusing. But yeah, it's complicated. It's very complicated. So and actuals for reals. I don't know if anyone noticed what I named this stream. National Presidential Joke Day, which is a thing I found on the internet. And someone declared it's like to commemorate the day, August 11th, 1984, Ronald Reagan doing a sound check almost started a nuclear war by saying, "My fellow Americans, I'm pleased to tell you that I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes." And the Russians didn't like that. Really didn't. It's a fun time to live when you thought you were going to die in nuclear war all the time. Still, you'd be surprised how much ammonium nitrate goes missing is being stored around the goldfields and proper ANFO. Yeah, no, actually, I wouldn't be that surprised. Definitely. Time for big, dumb, strong man to steal action. So, yeah, so that's why I named this live stream Presidential Joke Day, because someone declared it Presidential Joke Day. And yes, the biggest presidential joke is Trump, of course, but it's just a joke at our expense, which is very. Biden tweeted about how he shouldn't have to say that the Grand Canyon shouldn't be mined. Dang. PBR, Ronnie thought he was reading War of the Worlds. I like Orson Welles. He was suffering dementia. We retrospectively know this to be true. It kind of looked like it at the time, but in retrospect, we know it was actually true. And in fact, he never really recovered from that assassination attempt. He suffered some significant brain damage from that assassination attempt. So that was fun. Someone who wasn't all there, who seemed real keen on starting nuclear war. Ah, yes, Justin, missing nuclear bombs. It's been cited a few times. Security in America's nuclear missile sites is very, very, very bad. Chris, yes, Biden and Trump are both jokes. Biden's a fucking terrible candidate. And the fact that he's orders of magnitude better than Trump tells you all you need to know about the world, really, and how fucked it is. But yeah, Biden's an absolutely fucking terrible candidate. So this site says to commemorate Reagan's thing about bombing in 5 minutes, should enjoy a Russian spring punch. What's in a Russian spring punch? Raspberries, vodka, creme de framboise, creme de cassis, lemon juice, sugar syrup, and champagne. I instantly go off. It's my fucking, I don't know, what's the word? Prejudice, fussiness? I don't know. And as soon as when fucking cocktails topped with champagne, it immediately turns me off. PBR, yeah, apparently that guy was obsessed with Jodie Foster. And it all stemmed back to her role in Taxi Driver, where the character Travis Bickle was possibly going to take a shot at a presidential candidate, and this guy got fixated on Jodie Foster and took a shot at Reagan to get her attention. Look, who do I reckon is going to win the presidential? Look, if it wasn't for coronavirus and how badly Trump's fucking it up, I would have said Trump easily. But because the complete failure to manage coronavirus highlighted even to a chunk of fairly thick people just how dangerous Trump is. Now it seems to be swinging away from Trump, but I don't know. Good things don't happen. Good evening, Neil Body. Annette, see you later. Okay, you're having a Netflix party. Marcella show is amazing. Season 3 is The Bridge Meets The Godfather in Northern Ireland. Wow, okay, sounds like something I'm going to have to watch. Marcella. Okay, cool. Justin, Democratic Party having a factional fight about Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic. The Democratic Party is fucked. The young insurgents and the old insurgent, Bernie, had a lot going for them, but the establishment of the Democratic Party is utterly fucked. Hey, Laura, how you going? PBR, you watched season 1 of The Plot Against America. What was that like? I saw trailers for that and thought it looked interesting. But um, what have I been watching? I just watched season 2 of the Umbrella Academy. And they've been catching up. I'm watching an Amazon Prime show as well. Upload. I think season 2 of The Boys just dropped on Prime this weekend. I might watch that this weekend. Chris, why won't they endorse Medicare for all? I don't know, dude. They're fucked. Like, it's a vote winner. It's so weird how cowardly the Democratic Party is, how they're scared of what conservatives are going to say. Like, dude, the conservatives don't like you. Fuck the conservatives. Let them run their own party, for fuck's sake. This whole idea of pandering to conservatives is fucking ridiculous. Stand for something, for fuck's sake. Local Tripper, it is correct. If Trump loses, he could try again in 2024, but he won't because he never wanted to be president. If he loses, he'll say it was a scam and he'll hype people up and fleece stupid people for even more money, have himself a media career. Yes, the Dems are owned by big business and lobbyists, and they suck balls. Laurie, doing pretty well. Had a nice day. Went with your dad to pick up a new TV. That is nice. Oh, it was the first time spending time with dad since transition. How's the relationship? Because yes, lots of generations have problems understanding trans issues, but some older generations can find it particularly confronting. Chris, you don't believe he'll leave office. He doesn't have a choice. He does not have a choice. And no one would back him staying there. Stella, you finished season 2 of Umbrella Academy. Enjoyed it, but going to wade into internet controversy. Baby Pogo still isn't as cute as Baby Yoda. I don't know who Baby Pogo is. Did I miss something? Loki Trooper, what would happen if he decided to run in 2024? Dude, I can't predict what's going to happen next fucking week. 2024, who the fuck knows? The world of 2024 will be unrecognizable. But I'm not going to try and predict anything because the world's too fucking weird to predict anything. Oh, Toronto Maple, if you had a friend who works on production for The Boys. That was pretty intense first season, so I'm quite intrigued to see what second season's like. Looks like they might be ramping it up a little bit. That's a comic I never read. Well, I don't read that many comics. There's a few comics I read, and I was aware of The Boys, but I never actually read it. Oh, the baby ape. That was the talk. Well, yes, okay. The baby ape. I didn't even really regard that as a baby. I mean, it was young, certainly. Yeah. PBR, you like the look of the Ratchet show with Sarah Paulson. Yes, the origin story of the nurse from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I don't think I've ever watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest all the way through. Maybe I should. I've watched bits of it. I don't think I've watched it all the way through. Even the bits I've watched, that was a long time ago. Chris, yes, I think we'll probably be seeing even more pronounced signs of climate catastrophe by 2024. Everything seems to be accelerating, which is just a fucking hoot, isn't it? I watch Mad Max Fury Road a few more times to treat it like a documentary and be prepared to enter the wasteland in the future. Laura, since you told your parents you were going to transition, oh, your mum disowned you, dad was fine, he's your stepdad, so maybe it's less personal. But you call from time to time. Yeah, it's the trouble. The people, it's just really challenging. Speaking as an old person, you can get really locked into a worldview, and when something fundamentally challenges that worldview, some people can't fucking deal at all. Like, I cannot conceive of disowning a child because of their sexuality or gender identity. I just can't understand that. I could disown a child who, was a Trump supporter, was like a COVID 5G conspiracy fuckwit. I'd be like, yep, okay, step the fuck off. Stella, watch it all the way through so the Simpsons parody makes more sense. That's a good call. I see. Still hasn't called you Laura, but getting there. Step by step then. That's all right. Chris, you've got your prospector hat ready. Going to commandeer a mountain cabin, survive the end of the world as long as you can. That seems like a plan. Oh gosh, yes, Warata, you have a friend who was disowned by her entire family network when she introduced a girlfriend to them. Yeah, it's really common. I really don't understand it, but it is unfortunately really common. Yeah, nobody you agree about Trump supporter. Well, see, I have trouble with the concept of disowning someone for who they are. I have less trouble with the concept of disowning someone who chooses to be hateful. I mean, I like to think it wouldn't happen, but it would be very challenging if it did happen. Safo, no, haven't used 5G yet. I don't think I live in an area with 5G, and I don't have a 5G phone, so I don't. These days, I don't rush to new technology. I used to. In the 90s and the noughties, I was very much an early adopter of technologies, but I don't know. As I get older, I got a bit slower. So yeah. I didn't see that. Just that the Libs in Canberra then disendorsed a candidate for the ACT election in 48 hours. PBO, who's Kayleigh McEnany? Trump's not so secret weapon to get re-elected. I'm really hesitant to say he's fucked because nice things don't happen anymore. But he doesn't seem to. Was that Locust Trooper? You're all greeny, mate. Emission neutral. Got solar plane. Got your own water tank, mate. Mate, you're living the life. You are living the life. So, Laura, your mum disowned you because you wanted to go down and take a present for Mother's Day. Yeah, and your mum had always said her love was unconditional, but when you changed, there was a condition. Yeah, it's like I said, some people just, the stuff they can't wrap their head around. And, for some people, it's like interracial relationships would make some families disown a child, which is fucked up. But yeah, all we can do is hope that things get better. Time usually helps. So, which kind of sucks when you're at the start or very early in a process, but can only hope that things get better as time goes on. Chris, if you want to have fun, ask Americans what the capital of Australia is. To be fair, my knowledge of world geography is shithouse. and yeah, I mean, okay, I know the capital of the United States is Washington, and I also know that it's not in Washington State; it's in Washington D.C., District of Columbia. So I know trivial bits. Like I also know that the most famous cities in American states are almost never the capital of the state. Like I don't think New York's the capital of New York State, is it? Isn't it Albany? I don't know. And Los Angeles isn't the capital of um, California. And Agro Pixie, you want to disown your mother because she's a hateful bitch? Yep, people choose to be hateful. Then fucking, uh, I've got no problem with you cutting them out of your life because they're fucking hateful. That's a choice. That is absolutely a choice. And I don't think it just, and some parents take time to adjust and some take a long time. So yeah, Laura, all I can hope is that time improves things. It sucks having to wait and hope because, as you say, the love should have been unconditional, but the reality is some people just have a hard time. So Chris, you have to clarify you live in Washington State, not DC. Clarify that you live in Vancouver, in Washington, and not Canada. Oh, there you go. Albany is the capital of New York. I thought it was. That's right, Sacramento in California. But I think that's like in most of the states, the most famous city in the US is not the capital city. Like in Australia, there's the capital city, and then fuck all else. Everything else is basically country towns. Um, so is like Australia has massive population concentration in the state capitals. Nobody ever mate who is moderate conservative blew his mind when you dated a trans woman. She called it off with you. She's more woman than some of the cisgender women I know. Yeah, it's the thing about. I mean, like I was trying to be gentle with someone who I liked, but they were completely ignorant on trans issues, and she's saying blah blah blah. You know, like you don't demean me as a woman. You know, you weren't born with a vagina. And so I thought, I said, okay, are you seriously saying your genitals define who you are? That's your entire value is your genitals, because that's a bit weird. I'm just saying. So yeah. Justin, you are correct. Sometimes kids disown parents. It can be a very big shock to kids if parents come out to them late in life. PBR, few Americans thought you meant Florida when you said you were from Melbourne. Yes, I was actually, yeah, it was not that long ago. Like probably only about 10 to, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago that I found out there was a Melbourne in Florida. This was a surprise to me. Like, Strippy, you going all the way with the tech? Get some SpaceX technology, take your house to Mars? Why not? Why not? Why not? That's the thing. Was I going? Oh, that's right. I was going to make Schrodinger's cat cocktail, and I did actually find a recipe. A recipe that someone called Schrodinger's cat. And I made it last night, and it was okay. Or at least I made a version of it last night, and it was okay. So Yeah. I don't know what to make my own because, of course, the Schrodinger's cat thing was the cat is both dead and alive. If I could get that theme into a drink, I don't know. Hello, Blair. How are you doing? I feel like I'm being the old movie vampire saying Blair, Blair, Blur. Earth, you don't think there's such a thing as moderate in politics? Semantics. I don't see a lot of value in arguing semantics. Yeah, Chris, that isn't a good thing. The whole man up thing is absolute bullshit. That helps no one. And yes, what do they mean? Lift your penis up? What the fuck? Justin, there's also Sydney in Florida. There you go. Okay. Stella, yeah, well, look, I you know, most women I know are the same as you, not threatened by trans women. It's just, I don't know. Well, okay, with the lefty old school feminists who are very transphobic, and that stems from the sort of feminism I was surrounded by in the late 80s at a uni, where a lot of feminists really fucking hated drag queens because they took it as an insult to women, and a lot of them have never understood the difference between a trans woman and a drag queen. Yeah, there's a lot of complicated history in there. So, Laurie, I think it made things mentally easier for you. When I told them she was frosty, she kept twisting things that said, "You're walking on eggshells all the time," but now the ball's in her court. You try to talk to her, she can use it to push away, so just wait and hope. On the positive side, catalyst to get rid of all your male clothes. Fair call. Fair call. Yes, you're right, Chris. There is a very big problem with some white feminism that absolutely marginalizes non-white women, if not indulging in outright racism. Good call, Agro Pixie. If your feminism doesn't include trans women, your feminism is bullshit. Justin, how do we get rid of toxic masculinity? Good fucking question, my friend. Good fucking question. This is the weirdness of the people who insist that the term toxic masculinity means something it doesn't. People say, you're saying men are toxic. No. There is a societal pressure that forces incredibly limited roles and modes of behavior on men that results in violence, harm to men's physical and mental health, and harm to women. Basically, toxic masculinity is no good for anyone, and it needs to be fucking sorted. Rodney reviews things. Yeah, people believing in QAnon is indeed a very fucking big problem, and quite a disturbing one, quite honestly. Seeing videos of people spouting QAnon shit in an Australian accent really fucking disturbs me. Could almost just write that shit off with the lunatic fringe in America. But seeing videos of Australian people spouting a ridiculous QAnon shit is really fucking bad. All right, so I'm trying to come up with a better inspiration for maybe my own drink, or Schrodinger's cat. For those who missed it, the one I made, it had both mezcal and whiskey in it, which is not unheard of, but sort of sounds a bit weird as a combo. And I think their joke was, it's both a good drink and a bad drink until you try it. You might think it sounds good, you might think it sounds bad, but you won't know until you drink it, which is actually a pretty good line. But yeah, not sure if that's what I want to do. Rodney, you have mates who believe it. Yeah, they're fucking. I would find it impossible to talk with someone who is a QAnon type. Chris, guys in big trucks get mad at you when you get in front of them with your electric car. Yes, some guys in their big trucks are pretty insecure. Yes, aggro pixie. The idea that there's something wrong with men cry or feel something other than anger is ridiculous, but it is a societal pressure that exists. Justin, it is a fair thing to say Trump is a victim of toxic masculinity, also a perpetuator of it. But yes, Laura, you think you find religious lunatics amusing. God loves you, except if you're gay, lesbian, trans, Catholic, divorced, a pile of other small print. That is true. But again, those people are just lucky their preachings aren't true because they go straight to hell. Harb, how are you doing? How are you doing? Do a new drink for Trump, presidential week. Presidential joke week. Oh, he is a joke. Videos saying Dan Andrews is a clone. Well, that's funny. Nice, aggro pixie. There, the ideals are easy to fight for because they make sense. Human rights for all humans. Yeah. Yeah, minority rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Race rights are human rights. As you know, if your politics ain't intersectional, your politics is bullshit. Oh yeah, Hub, I did see that. Trump brain just not working, saying the 1918 flu. Now he called it I think he did call it the 1919 flu because he's thinking of COVID-19, and then said that he thinks it ended World War II because all the soldiers were sick, and like it didn't even end World War One. But anyway, Chris, you've dated women from Christian families and no one gave you 6 goats. That's unfair. That is very unfair. Laura, yeah, Trump hates the idea of being a loser, but Trump that he will say it was a fraudulent election. He will leave the White House. He won't have a choice, but he won't stop saying it was fraudulent, which may or may not be a thing. That's it, David. He said 1917. Yes. Yeah, I knew yeah, but anyway, he's just a fucking sufferer. I think the gunshot was meant for Trump. I don't know. I didn't hear any details. I know someone got shot outside the White House. I didn't hear any details about what it is. But I don't know. There's a lot of disturbed people in the world, in America, and there's just also a lot of random gun violence in America. I'd doubt that it was anything to do with Trump. Yes, we should all go to Thailand. Actually, I'm pretty fucking keen on Thailand. It sounds pretty good to me. I noticed one of his absolute sycophants. That dude that he fucking pardoned was saying like, no, it's just a regional pronunciation. That's how English and Australian people say it. No, it fucking isn't, you fucking mutant. And why would Trump say it the way English people and Australian people say it anyway? You fucking pathetic loser. David, you're still on the fence whether Trump will lose or not. Biden has forces pushing it. Biden's the establishment, and Biden's conservative. The conservative establishment will fucking love Biden. He'll give the appearance of solidity, which they like. Harb and David, no, it wasn't Roger Stone. It was a guy of Indian extraction. Oh, look, I might be able to find it. This is not one of the really high-profile pardons Trump did, but he did actually pardon this guy. No, wait, what am I doing? Just because I tweeted it, so I'm just looking at my Twitter. Dinesh D'Souza. I don't think that's his real name either. Dinesh D'Souza. David, I'm absolutely not a fan of Biden. Biden's fucking terrible. Yes, Stelly, he called Yosemite Park Yosemite, which is what your New York Jewish homies yell to each other, "Yo, Semite," something like that. Anyway, yes, I did see the reverse waterfall video. That happens reasonably often in high winds, but it still looks pretty funny cool. Like if there's been lots of rain and you get these waterfalls going off cliffs into the ocean, and the wind actually blows it back, so the water doesn't make it down, the water gets blown back up. As a bit of wild weather, certainly. Yes, Laura, I'm actually with you. Someone who's an actual Christian is going to show it by their actions. These evangelical types who are all talk, they're actually explicitly called out in the New Testament, and it's explicitly stated that they're not going to the good place. But anyway. Justin, I'd side with Chris a bit, actually. I think the Democratic Party and the Labour Party are very different. Where they are similar is they both fucking suck, and they both fucking sell out actual left-wing and working class values, and fuck them both for that. Locust Trooper, what do I love about Thailand? All the thighs. Basically, I've never been to Thailand. So I was just making a joke that Thailand sounds like a fun place. Ugh, nobody, the evangelists, fucking scum. Unless they give away all the money they raise, they're evil fucking scum. God, that's a good memory. Old Spike Milligan lines. Bible according to Spike Milligan. And God said, "Let there be light," but there was not light, as it was Sunday and the electricity company was closed. What's that weird book of his? I mean, I know everything he wrote was weird, but there's a book called Pacoon. It was particularly weird. It was funny. It was a very funny book. Spike Milligan, what a character he was. This was according to America's Best Christian, Betty Bowers. Prayer should never be done in front of other people. I like Betty Bowers is a YouTube channel. For those who don't know, she's very funny. Locust Trooper, oh, you've been to Thailand 10 times, Bogan Paradise. Yeah, I can see that. Harb, I thought you're suddenly just bringing up cheap boxed wine. You're a Goon fan, but then I realized you meant the Goon Show. Yes. It was Peter Sellers, Spike Milligan. Was it Harry Seacombe? Harry Seacombe was the third Goon, wasn't he? And I think, was Michael Bentine in the Goons as well, or was he in something else? PBR, God said to Moses, "Come forth." But Moses came fifth and got a ribbon. I always liked the absurdist nature of the Goons. Just the the one-liners they would throw out. Like, hold my hand. Why? Are you a stranger in paradise? It's just like, what? Nobody. There's a church in your called City Point, and your friends call it Shitty Point. That's fair. That's fair. All right, I'm pleased that I remembered Harry Seacombe and Michael Bentine. There you go. Oh God, are you for real, Locust Trooper? Fat Aussie bastard lives in Thailand. I don't know. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say any of the things I'm thinking. I'm not going to say it because it's probably actionable. Some of the things I want to say about him, so I'm just not going to say anything. Yes, nobody. Scummo is far too deeply involved with Hillsong, founder of which should be in fucking prison for obstructing investigation into his father's pedophilia. That's another one, Hub. I'm English by descent. By descent? Yes, I came down by parachute. Oh, David, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore's fucking Derek and Clive stuff, where they just got really fucking drunk in a studio and just talked shit. As well. I have 6 bottles of wine, but no wine glasses. Friend of mine who's a wine fan was horrified. Oh no. Oh, Stella, that's Fat Ozzy Bastard is an old racist fuckhead who used to be reasonably known on Australian YouTube, and then he got more known for stealing money from cancer kitties. So yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. Gecko, good morning to you. Yes, nobody, that is true. Don't call it Hillsong, Hellsong. And Harb's got a Derek and Clive LP. Oh, when I was at high school, we listened to Derek and Clive and we felt so naughty. They're saying swears. They're saying swears on the record. Oh, Laura, someone tried to condemn you for being asexual. How can I be committing a sexual sin when I'm not having sex? He paused and lifted the Bible and said, we're all sinners to God. Oh, God. Yeah. No, the Bible thumpers suck. I just laugh in remembering Dudley Moore's Jump, You Fucker Jump. Yeah. What was the one where it's like, if I remember rightly, it's like Dudley Moore went too far and Peter Cook just starts talking over and goes, thank you very much. That's enough of that, sir. Thank you. We won't be having any more of that. It's just like, they're just like so fucking drunk and they're just saying the most ridiculous shit that comes into their head. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, Laura, I imagine that the attack was originally because you were trans. Yeah, and he started saying that it was some sort of sexual sin, and you said, but I don't have sex, so how can it be a sexual sin? So yeah. But yes, there's no reasoning with someone like that. Nobody wanted someone to show you a passage that condemns trans people. Yeah, it's not actually about the Bible. It's about the people who control the message. Because, like I said, all those evangelicals, the fucking televangelists, the Bible's actually really explicit. It's quite explicit. They would all go to hell. It's like it's not even subtle. It doesn't require interpretation. The Bible really quite clear, and the New Testament quite clearly states all those money-grubbing televangelists would go straight to hell. So, Chris, speaking of Bible thumpers, one day Lady Mormons knocked on your door, sure enough, buddies of religious happened to be able to say, oh, wow, they had a debate. Different sects of Christianity. Well, Justin, what about the Subway guy? Are we talking about Jared, or is that something else? A guy on a Subway, or the guy from Subway? I don't know. Life can be confusing. See, trying to think, should I just go with this other person's recipe for Schrödinger cocktail? Good. Okay, it's a champagne cocktail. Fuck that. Fuck that. I think I've already said once tonight. Don't like cocktails that have this. Wow, that actually only returned 7 results. That good. It's not that far off a Google whack. So there's actually a restaurant in Moscow called Schrödinger's Cat, I think. Yes, I don't know. I'm fucking saying. Andrew, you like a Death in the Afternoon and a French 75. French 75 is probably one of the most famous champagne cocktails. It's just not my thing. Gecko, did you already ask about crucifixion and resurrection, where the people were 3 days later? I'm not sure what your point is there. Chris, someone walked into a subway in New York City, couldn't find the subway. That would probably be me. Ooh, Stella, you had a lychee cocktail with champagne. It was fucking amazing. Look, I'm not saying they're not good because they're clearly very popular drinks. I like that one. Laura, a hate preacher at Pride kept calling you sir, and you asked him not to. After the third sir, you said, okay, I've asked you nicely, so from now on, I'm going to call you arsehole. It's up to you how often I call you that. After the 15th time, if you're calling him arsehole, you get annoyed and said you're being abusive. Pointed out you gave him the rules, was directly responsible for the thing that was annoying him. It reminded me of that dumb piece of shit, Ben Shapiro, on some TV thing, was belittling a trans woman by calling her sir, and she just leaned over at one point and said something along the lines of, Sonny, you call me sir once more and I'll break your fucking neck. And Ben Shapiro went, oh, that's so unreasonable. It's like, I was just being polite. It's going, being a hateful piece of shit in an even tone of voice is not being polite. He was deliberately, repeatedly saying the most hateful thing he could. And just someone said, dude, shut the fuck up or I will fuck you up. He's going, what's unreasonable? No, it's not, dude. It's really not. So you think lychee liqueur is sweet enough to hide the cat's piss taste of the champagne? I find I've got some lychee liqueur there. It's very, very strong flavor. The lychee is a very strong flavor. Yes, Andrew, his BBC debate where he made a fool of himself. Or yesterday, he's made a fool of himself by criticizing that, like, I think it's a Cardi B track called WAP, Wet Ass Pussy. And it's a very strident song about female sexuality. And he's all affronted by it. and he's just like, there's something wrong with them if their pussy's that way. It's just like, dude, all you're saying is that like you've never given sexual pleasure to a woman. It's like, why do you not understand how much of a fool you make of yourself? Do you have, I think maybe Ben Shapiro actually has a sexual fetish for public humiliation, and he's using us all for his sexual gratification. Locust Trooper, I don't know. I hung out with Fat Aussie Bastard a couple times. It's just, there's a thing. And over the years, he just got more and more overtly racist, so I avoided him. Yes, Chris, I haven't even heard the song. They say, yeah, there's been better songs, there's been worse, but all these dudes getting so worked up by women being sexual. Yeah, Stella, he's basically talking about never getting a woman wet. It's weird as fuck. Dude. But he's just not very bright. He consistently says and does things publicly that make him look so fucking stupid. Or you have a game with your brother, insults to the death. The rules are simple. You insult each other as hard as possible, but if you swear, you lose because you couldn't think of anything better. As a result, you have a pile of really cutting insults in your mental repository. That's pretty good. I've had nobody trying to explain to your mum. She didn't understand why your transgender friend got upset, so you asked her if she'd object to calling Mister. She said she did, and I said, why? She said, because it's not who I am. Yeah, that's the point made. It's like, it's weird. Earth Warata, we're talking about, I think it's Cardi B and someone else did a song called WAP, Wet Ass Pussy. My favorite insult. I've worn shoes with a higher IQ than yours, and that's when they were still in a field. Crazy. That one will upset vegans as well, talking about leather shoes. But I digress. Okay. I'm not dressed up to make a cocktail video. And I feel like, I was thinking the Schrodinger's cat thing. The cat's both dead and alive until you open the box and look. Cocktail both perfect and undrinkable until you actually taste it. Peach ice. I'm not going to put peach in it because they don't have peach and I don't feel like messing around that much. Do I really want to do that? So I'm not feeling this super motivation, but maybe I should push myself. PBA, you got to have an early night. That's fair. And Chris, also off to bed. Farewell. Invisible Chicken. I think I've heard that story. A trans woman wanting to have bank details changed, so in the interim changed their title to professor. Yeah, that's a good gender-neutral term. What do I think about vegans? I think there's a lot to recommend the vegan lifestyle, but some individual vegans are dickheads. Okay, Kanye got kicked off the ballot in one state for not having enough valid signatures. Yeah, it's weird. Apparently, there are reports that some Republican power brokers are behind trying to get Kanye on the ballot in a lot of states where he shouldn't be because they think that will take votes away from Biden. I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous. Rodney, that is a good point. Some individual anythings are dickheads, and I think that's important to remember. Even whatever group you maybe identify as, there will be people who you maybe agree with on a bunch of whole core things, and they're still dickheads. It's a thing that happens, and it's important to remember. Laura, one you created for someone who blindly posts Wikipedia pages. You use Wikipedia as your source, but given what I just added for your entry, maybe you shouldn't go through your farmyard animals for a while. Look, Trooper, to clarify, I think if I wasn't so fucking lazy, I would be at least vegetarian, if not vegan. But a lot of vegans who are preachy have very one-dimensional arguments, and the arguments are rooted in emotion rather than fact. Now, and there's nothing wrong with having attachment to emotional beliefs, but it's like, I made the joke about vegans because of the leather shoes thing. And so they, will wear plastic shoes, and it's going like, but the amount of destruction done to the environment in the production of synthetic materials, and the fact that these synthetic materials don't degrade like leather or other animal products do is really bad. And you'll get some vegans who say they won't eat honey because it's created from forced labor of bees, and completely ignoring the amount of food they eat, which is the product of forced labor of humans, and their clothes and their electronics that are all the product of forced labor. So, yeah. You want to erotically lick your steak when vegan activists storm into a restaurant. That makes for an interesting visual, certainly. Rodney, you've been vegan for about 15 years. Good on you. If you're fine, don't push it. Bloody hell, we've been on weight the last few years. Yes, there's vegan snack. There's vegan junk food. That is absolutely true. There's vegan junk food, which is a sign of the evils of capitalism, quite honestly. Yes, Stella, you're correct. A lot of fruit is the product of forced labor of bees. So there's a whole bunch of things that if you follow some hardcore vegan ideology, you can't eat a whole bunch of fruits. Abigail, yes, I agree about minimizing harm, which is why I think vegetarianism and veganism broadly are good, even though I'm super fucking lazy and don't do it. Sally, you like vegan Magnum ice creams? I haven't tried them, I have to admit. I've seen them, but what do I think about cyclists? I'm fine with cyclists. Ask AIDSy about cyclists. He hates them because he's not that fast moving with his disability. He's been almost run over by or been hit by cyclists so many times in the last decade or two. He's really, really pissed off. Rodney, Etico is a good ethical clothing company if you want to check them out. That's good to hear. Yeah. It's basically, as humans, we can't avoid footprints, existing has an impact on the environment. It's good to not be blind to your impact on the environment. And you get a bunch of preachy people, whatever they're preaching, who really gloss over the negatives of their lifestyles. Abigail, you were vegan for 15 years, but chronic health issues made it hard to maintain. You still haven't eaten meat in decades and have forgotten the taste of it. See, I am really lazy and I can like the taste of meat. So I'm a terrible person. Ooh, wow. Visible Chicken makes a good vegan chocolate pie. I'm liking the sound of that. Okay, you got me there. So we're talking about vegans and cyclists. Is this Isaac Butterfield's channel? Oh, nicely done. Nicely. Isaac Butterfield hates cyclists. Okay. No, I don't have a problem with cyclists. But I said you want someone who hates cyclists, talk to AZ, but that's because he's been nearly run over them a bunch of times. Invisible Chicken, people have been having a negative impact on the environment since they started using fire. Well, like I said, there's an old activist punk band that I was into in the 80s called Crass, and one of their songs they had, because they were fucking vegetarian anarchist hippies, and they jumped on the punk bandwagon because they thought, yeah, revolution. Then they realized everyone else was in it for the money, and they go, no, fuck it. They went hardcore with the politics. But they had a track where it was like, there was a line that was basically like, you leave footsteps in the sand. Existing is an impact on the world. Just be conscious of what you do. Gecko, got to get to work. Wish you a good day in the work, my man. Take care. Laura, people do get a weird anti-cyclist reaction that doesn't make any sense. Annette, yeah, let's talk about punk. I was talking about Crass. Big A, little A, dancing beat. Sister might have got you, but it won't get me. 1, 2, 3, 4. They were fun. Crass were fun. I have I have a couple of their records. I have a double album they put out that was basically, their greatest hits. They called it Best Before. It was a selection from their career, and it also had some audio recordings. There were two really funny ones. One was when coppers came to bust them on obscenity charges because they had some very strident anti-Falklands War records out. One was called Sheep Farming in the Falklands. And the refrain was sheep farming in the Falklands, rearming in the fucklands, fucking sheep in the homelands, the Royal Marines are coming. And there was an anti-Thatcher one. And I think so they had one audio recording of when the cops came to their house to bust them on obscenity charges. And they had another one from when they were on the BBC where this blathering Tory was going, "The terrible, you had to even check what lyrics I should say, it's against the law." And they go, "This song starts with the song lyric, 'You shithead slimy got it all,' and it gets worse from there." And then the very toned BBC announcer says to the guys from Crass, "And how do you react to that?" And the guy from Crass, in this just really calm, measured tone, just said, "We believe the real obscenity is Mr. Smith here and Mrs. Thatcher and all their supporters who have unnecessarily gone to war, causing pain and suffering for hundreds." And they were just calm, eloquent, and clear, and say, "You are trying to call us obscene for words while you are fucking killing people." And I think that's worse. Rodney, you have Christ the album. Too many sounds poorly recorded. Great packaging. They were very lo-fi. The one that's really chaotic and borderline impossible to listen to is Yes, Sir, I Will, which is, again, post-Falklands War, and it was inspired by a picture as the veterans of Falklands were meeting Prince Charles was doing an inspection, and it included the wounded, and it's like one squatty whose whole face was horrifically burnt. He was on a ship that was torpedoed, and he was really badly burnt. And Chuckles stopped to talk to him and thanks for his service. And the last thing Chuckles said to him was, "Get well soon." And the soldier said, "Yes, sir, I will." And they just went, that is the weirdest fucking obeisance to authority I've ever seen. You're going to get well from horrific fucking burns. Hey, Kirsten, hello. Hellion, hello, yes. Oh, wow. Harb, you remember it was Simon Westall from the Welsh Guard. Yes. But yes, the Crass album, Yes, Sir, I Will, is mainly fucking noise with someone screaming lyrics. But there's two songs on it. One is a very punk one that's very funny, that is just like, it's a dialogue with one person who's given them every objection they've ever heard to anarchism, which they find quite stupid. Who'd sweep the streets? Who'd clean the toilets? And the only response they give is, "Oh, what if I just told you to fuck off?" Which I love. And the other one is a ballad, of all things, called "What Did You Know? What Did You Care?" As well. Earth, you're off. Have fun. Oh, God, we're saying Isaac Butterfield. He probably wants to be the new Alex Jones. Jesus. That's it. All right, I think I've missed something fun. Laura's talking about sex with a gay man. Cut the hypocrisy with a knife. All right, I think I just missed something there. Oh, well. Abigail, anytime a musician asks for a request, I suggest Jesus built my hot rod. Watch their face when they realize how fast the song is. Oh, I remember that. God, from my early days of being on IRC, chatting with friends when that album came out, which is the Ministry album, Psalm 69. One friend and I who was super into it, and we'd be in different houses on IRC tapping away. And we go, "Hey, put the CD in," and we'd hit play at the same time. So we would, even though we were in different places, we were like sharing the experience of having the same music playing. Oh, God. Laura, yeah. No, Prince Philip, stupid, ignorant shit he said over his life. He's a buffhead and a bigot and a weirdo. Gavin McInnes is a more accurate one than Alex Jones. Ugh, Gavin McInnes. Well, at least he was successful, I guess. He's a weirdo and a fucking lying piece of shit. But Laurie, yes, I used ICQ a little bit. I was mainly on IRC. And it was earlier than 99. I was about 95 probably, because I can track. Because it was a couple of years before my daughter was born, because I met her mum on IRC probably in about 95. My daughter was born in 97. So I was probably on IRC in like 95, 94 or 95. Abigail had a 5-digit ICQ number. I do not remember my ICQ number. Yes, Andrew, Gavin McInnes is racist as fuck. Started the Proud Boys. He's also a sad, pathetic loser, liar, and grifter. Lucas Trooper, no, I don't think Isaac Butterfield is Alex Jones's apprentice. In fact, I do not pay enough attention to Isaac Butterfield to be able to place him anywhere on the spectrum. I really only hear about him from what other people say about him. So, yeah, I don't know nearly enough about him to place him anywhere on the spectrum of who he might be. Stella, well, hey, Alan Jones would like Isaac Butterfield. He likes the young boys. Always has. Yes. This is his thing. The age difference has always been creepy. Yeah. Yeah. When someone fawns over people who are decades younger than them, it's a little bit creepy. A little bit. It ranges from a little bit creepy to super fucking creepy. So, yeah. Just not that inspired. Maybe I shouldn't have made the maybe I shouldn't have made the fucking Schrodinger's cat cocktail last night. Rodney, you reckon Isaac's too old for it? Isaac's only about 25, isn't he? Oh God, like Alan Jones lost his long-term butler because he hooked up with that guy who I think he's definitely under 25. And I don't know what happened that made the butler go, yeah, you know what? Fuck this. After all these decades, I am out. Harb, you remember Prince Philip being introduced to a Nigerian official in full national dress and said, you look dressed for bed. That's the mildest thing Prince Philip ever said to someone from another culture. He's so racist. Laura, in the dial-up days, the worst piece of software was Outlook Express. Would open all your emails to make it faster than downloading the page, but opened all the viruses you should not open. I don't think I used Outlook Express. That's probably why I don't remember it. Locust Troop, I did. I was under the impression Isaac Butterfield was pretty big, yes. Laura, the royal family spent more time smelling wet paint than anyone else. I am slightly confused as to what that means. Is that a metaphor? Am I missing something? I gotta check something on my camera. I gotta set my camera up in a minute. No, I just pushed the wrong button. That's not what I meant to do. Is there there are multiple files on here. I want to get rid of them before I... Okay, it's ready now. Laura, that's why the I love you virus was spread so widely. It was on the national news. Local trip, am I going to meet Isaac Butterfield one day? I don't know. I'm not going to go out of my way to meet him. Annette, you missed the old Usenet news groups. I used to spend quite a bit of time on the Usenet news groups, yes. Oh, wow. Stella, you used to work help desk, so you hate Outlook. That makes absolute sense. My ex worked on a help desk and, yep, some of the stories, wowzers. That's something. Rodney, got to go. Thanks for dropping by. Good to see you. Okay. Can I be motivated to make... Annette, which ones did I go on? A lot of the alt ones, and a lot of the jokey ones. When I started getting a bit obsessed by Neil Gaiman because I was reading Sandman comics, there was the alt fan Neil Gaiman that I hung out on. Kirsten, how many glittery boots is too many glittery boots? Because you don't want to leave your house and mostly wear Uggs. Oof, that's a big metaphysical question. How many glittery boots is too many glittery boots? Like Shabra, I don't think I meet him at a YouTube gathering because I don't think he goes to YouTube events. I don't think he gets invited to YouTube events. I think he regards himself as too important to hang out with YouTube proles. Stella stepped in with "There's no such thing as too many glittery shoes." Oh no, you're on the Gothic ones in the 90s. Oz Culture Gothic and Alt Gothic. Yep. I did hang out on a couple of the culture sites, but mainly on the alt sites. Oh, okay. Laurie just saying wet paints for the Royals opening new buildings or from tarting up old buildings for no other reason than the Royals were coming. Right, I thought you might, and it's something they spent a lot of time sniffing lead paint and it made them brain damaged. But, you know, that could be a thing. Why am I not motivated to make things? Probably, you know why? Because I'm waiting for some fucking deliveries and I'm kind of excited by some of the deliveries that are arriving this week. So maybe it's because I'm just anticipating that I can't sort of get really into something now. I saw a variation of that, Harp. A surreal question. If a duck-billed platypus produces its own milk and eggs, can it make its own custard? Its own omelette. Indeed. Like a stripper, do you want my YouTube channel bigger? I don't know, man. I'm just having fun. I have a day job. There's no way YouTube could ever compete sort of monetarily with my day job. And if I had a bigger YouTube channel, it would interfere with my day job. So essentially, to have a bigger YouTube channel, I'd have to take a really massive pay cut, and I don't really want to do that. As it is, I can just have fun, and I like having fun. So, you know, to earn more than I make from my day job, I'd have to be in the top 1% of the top 1%, and I don't see that happening. Annette, non-alcoholic thingies for mocktails. Flavored, these guys. Monin. It's a really well-known brand, but Monin make a whole bunch of really good flavored syrups, and they put recipes on them. And yeah, I mean, 3 of the 4 recipes on here are non-alcoholic. A vanilla latte. Yeah, well, you can use this in coffee as well as a flavor. There's another one that was advertising to me on Facebook as well. But there's lots of flavored syrups, which is an easy cheat for making fun mocktails. But fruit, you want fruit. Aggro PC, got to start your PC for a update. Catch you later. Kirsten, good call. Sodas, Bilson's cordial syrups, fruit juices, fresh fruit like lime and lemon, mint. These are all things that are very good for non-alcoholic drinks. Yeah, I'm sure it took me a while to process that. If you want to know what fun means to me, you do a search of the video I did with Corey Williams in the shed. Corey let rip with a huge fart. He really did. He really fucking did. Locust Trooper, how about if I got 1 million subs, 500 million views a day? Okay, from basically that would you basically get $1 from YouTube for 1,000 views. There's a lot of things that vary that, but as a general rule of thumb, from if you're partnered with YouTube, you get about $1 from 1,000 views. So from 1 million views, you get $1,000. So I would have to get 1 million views every single day, fully monetized, in order to earn more than I do from my current job. And that's just not going to happen. So yes, Annette, the flavored syrups, fruit juices, fresh and bottled fruit juices is fine as far as I'm concerned, and mint. You can do all sorts of stuff with that. Blur, how's Corey? He seems very happy. He's very happy. He's got his young family now. He seems to just love being a dad. He's very upset when his cat Sparta died earlier this year, but he just seems to be loving life with his wife and his kids. Like, he's made to be a dad, I think. He seems to be really enjoying life. Laura with a big question. Speaking of mint, why is toothpaste 100% mint flavored? Don't know. Someone decided mint was fresh breath, and that was it. Safa, no, I have not heard from AZ, so we are still on the concern. Oh, Hub, did I just fucking ruin your night? Did you not know Sparta died? Yeah, not that long ago. Oh, dude, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Probably just fucking ruined your night. Yes, Sparta died as having health problems, and basically Corey took him to the vet, and the vet, after an examination, said there was a whole bunch of health complications that Sparta wasn't going to recover from, and that they were very painful, and the kindest thing to do was to actually put Sparta down, which was understandably a very upsetting thing for Corey. I shared a room with Sparta, which is to say, when I stayed with Corey all those years ago, in the spare room where the cats usually slept, where the cat's climbing thing like this was, and I was sleeping on a lounge in there, and they really made it known it was their room that I was in. They'd just stare at me in the morning. So, yes. Oh, good Lord, Stella, you can get other toothpaste flavors, but advise us, don't buy cola toothy tabs from Lush. They're vile. That does sound... Oh, there you go, Invisible Chicken. You get kids' toothpaste from Chemist Warehouse. They have a berry flavor. The locust trooper, the guy got hit a cop and went to jail. I don't know. Last I heard, he was still in prison or maybe getting out. Who knows? Who knows? So, God, I got all dressed up to make a fucking cocktail, and I'm just not motivated to do it. Maybe I'll probably shouldn't push it. I don't know. I've still got time. I don't know. Yes, you're right, Nobody. Sparta was a huge part of Corey's YouTube story and many events in his life. The Mean Kitty song was the most viewed cat video on YouTube. Locust Trooper, that was video. Yes, Mega Leech with the VD, video dude. And he got upset because he started spouting dumb, homophobic, and racist shit. And I said, not here, dickhead. And they kept doing it, so I blocked them. And apparently they took that as a severe personal affront, which is weird. No, it's just as an unbalanced individual. Yes, thank you, Kirsten. I don't have to, I'm not feeling it, but I'll definitely have to do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll get vibed up by tomorrow. Because I've ordered a bunch more booze to get delivered. I think I'm getting something boring. Well, okay, it's not that boring, but a staple, a tequila, I think is coming tomorrow. Because I was almost out of tequila when I was buying other stuff from Dan's, and they had tequila for like $10 or $15 off, so I got it. Locust Troop, is he bipolar? I have no idea. I do know nothing about the guy. Kirsten, no, I haven't heard from AZ, which is more than a touch concerning. I will try to call him again tomorrow and see what happens. I'm not even sure if I have the right number for boss of the house, so I'll try tomorrow. Yes, Laura, is basically people don't like accepting any responsibility for their behavior. Yeah. But I don't know. You got warned multiple times. Yes, Kirsten, you got your whiskey emergency today. Did I tell you that Costco was selling a $23,000 bottle of whiskey, which was absolutely mind-blowing to me? Costco selling a $23,000 bottle of whiskey. Weird. But yes. Locust Trooper, that's what Aidsy calls his boyfriend, boss of the house. Abigail, that was that's Mac's Headroom line, wasn't it? Woke up one morning, all my stuff had been stolen and replaced by exact duplicates. Weird. Yeah. Sorry, I did tell you that Costco was selling a $23,000 bottle of whiskey. It just blows my mind on a number of levels. Was it called the Star Citizen? I don't remember. Abigail, you're quoting Stephen Wright. Mac's Headroom did that. So I don't know who knocked off who. Oh, God. I remember Laura play the Santa Claus, PIMP. That was Luna and Refuge from Reno. And I was an extra in the video. Andrew, no, there's 4 Costco's in Melbourne. There's at least 3, maybe 4. Oh, Megaleech, that's a joke about the game Star Citizen. There you go. I'm not enough of a gamer to get that. It might actually be here. Wow, Audible really want me to start up Audible again, but hi, unknown customer. Oh, right. No, my daughter's been buying stuff on my Amazon Prime account. Hey, I'm getting a delivery tomorrow. I think it's just the tequila. The other thing I ordered from Dan's was much more interesting. It was a white chocolate Irish cream liqueur. So it's like whiskey and white chocolate cream. Yum. Expedited delivery and it's still going to take a week. What did she get? Wait. What was that? Okay, now I'm intrigued. She ordered. Oh, fuck off! Don't remember the sign in. I'm going to do that now. Okay. So I'm getting some dance tomorrow. I'm also I don't know when my Applewood's coming. I'm looking forward to that. Yes, nobody. That was the short, sharp one with Corey. Yeah, lunch, mate. Chuck another shrimp on the barbie. There was a lot of discussion went into that 30-second sketch, actually. Laura, yes, I know you're a long-term fan. You were watching when I was still wearing the mask. I keep meaning to make more pre-recorded videos. I swear, the videos I don't make are really good. But I'll do it. Hub, you had a surreal moment. Your brother got the latest Empire magazine as it had an article about the original Omen film from the 70s. You opened it up and the set shots. Your dad was in background on the camera. Okay. Yep, that's pretty weird. Locust Trooper, you got busy 2 weeks printing. Hey, you know what you're talking about what to do for your printing thing? I saw something got advertised to me on Facebook that I was really tempted to get. And because like wearing masks, depending on the shape of your face, sometimes the masks press too much like on your mouth and nose, and it does happen to me. And they had this little flexible plastic thing. It was like a little frame, and you just rest it on your nose, and then the mask holds it in place, but it holds the mask away from your mouth and nose. You're still covered, but it just holds it away from your mouth and nose. I was really tempted to get one. Yes, no, buddy. The video was called something like "How to Piss Off an Australian," something like that. Yes, Corey was always fun to work with. His ADD would be all over the place. Oh, you actually already do those locus strip. There you go. You're one step ahead of me, mate. Laura, you ordered a 50-inch TV from Argos, but they couldn't deliver it. They could deliver the wall mount. And then the day for it to pick up, not deliverable. God damn. Yeah. So what have I I've got booze coming, and I've got an ice cream maker coming. I'm going to make booze flavored ice cream. Just see if I don't. I'm going to particularly, I think I'm going to make pina colada ice cream. I'm going to do a whole shit ton of milk clarified pina colada and use the curds in the ice cream to flavor it. See, like a stripper, I can't get to my post office box with the lockdown rules because the post office box is more than 5 kilometers away, and checking your mail is not one of the legitimate reasons. So it's actually illegal for me to go to my post office box, which is annoying because someone has sent me something. It's probably just another weird envelope with receipts in it. But yeah, I cannot go to my post office box until this lockdown is over. Oh, wow. Abigail, migraine meds making your brain melt into goo, but at least you're not being stabbed with ice picks anymore. Well, that sounds like a sales pitch. You could sell them on the street corners with that load. Like a stripper, you may be giving out my home address on the internet. So I very much appreciate your offer, and in a different world, I'd accept it. So, but I hope you understand that my audience, my family, really frown upon the idea of me giving out my home address on the internet or to people from the internet. Sorry, I was. I was going to look up this Costco thing just out of fascination. Costco. I think it's this one. New wine and whiskey flavors. Costco selling the Game of Thrones themed whiskies. Single malt scotches. Okay, look, I just have to show you this so you know it's real. Accept. It's Johnny Walker as well. This $23,000 bottle of whiskey is Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker, 40-year-old Masters Ruby Reserve whiskey. And of course, it's not about how good it is. It's about how rare it is. It's just ridiculous shit for rich people to spend money on. Oh, no, Harv, you watched the video on Sparta? Yes. Crying now? Yes. Yes, and then I think that's why Costco have got a bunch of Game of Thrones Scotch whiskies, because they've all been sitting in a warehouse for a while. Oh, Jesus, they really pissed people off with that final season. Didn't make any sense. But anyway, Laura, have any ever been drunk once in your life? And you were 9. Parents treated you to a pina colada, but you know it was alcoholic, so you went to the bar and got 2 more over a few hours. I'm really troubled at the bar giving a 9-year-old pina coladas. But anyway, it's a strange old world. Yes, traditionally a pina colada only uses like white rum, but I've got 4 sorts of rum over there. And so when I was doing a milk clarified one, I put them all in. I just put 4 different sorts of rum in here because I can. No one can stop me. And the whole thing is a pina colada is meant to be light. So if you use dark rum, the pina colada will be dark and murky. But if you're clarifying it, then it comes out a beautiful yellow color, no matter how dark the rum is. So, yeah. Laura, that is absolutely fair. Didn't like the hangover. So whenever you start to feel alcohol now, switch to soft drinks. Good. Yeah, that's what gets me, Stella. If I could afford a 23K bottle of whiskey, I wouldn't be shopping at Costco. Yeah. But Costco do sell a lot of expensive stuff, actually. They sell coffins, which fucking cracks me up. They sell jacuzzis. It's Costco's wild. Like it's true, but people are going nuts with the car cup holders. Well, dude, you hit the right market, clearly. But you should do a great line of the Hounds chickens for Game of Thrones themed food. Nice. Laurie, okay, you're on a holiday in Spain. This was the early 80s when they trusted kids to go to the shop to buy cigarettes for your parents. Yep. I used to do that for my older siblings. Yeah. So for that thing with the 23,000 bottle of whiskey, that's just dumb bullshit for rich people to spend money on. It's like watches that cost $750,000. There is no rational world in which a watch is worth $750,000. It's just literally giving stupid rich people something to spend money on. It's like the cars that cost, in the millions of dollars. It's just for stupid rich people to spend their money. It's like when you see the ridiculous mega yacht that Jeff Bezos has. It's the size of a small town and probably uses the energy of a small town and costs fuck knows how many $1 million. It's just for pieces of shit like him to blow their money on. There are whole industries that are about nothing but making shit for stupid rich people to spend their money on. Harb, you think Paul Newman War in the Le Mans film sold something like 16 million? Yeah, see, that's just like a collector thing. It's a rarity, one of a kind. Paul Newman wore it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that whole speculating on art and collectibles and whatnot is fucking rich people bullshit. Kirsten, when you go to Costco, you offer to buy your husband a coffin. He buys you pizza and you give him a pass till next time. He knows exactly what to do. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just this thing that the rich people will be so taken by surprise when they're dragged out of their mansion and strung up from the light poles in the public square. They'll go, who could have seen this coming? Oh, if only I knew. Dudes, you've got history. History shows this sort of wealth disparity is unsustainable and only ends one of 2 ways. Either there is quite extensive structural change that lessens the disparity a bit, or the aristocracy get dragged into the town square and executed. So one of the 2. Like, Strip, you love Costco pizza. I don't think I've ever had it, to tell the truth. Jesus, Invisible Chicken. World of Whiskey says 23K's at 29% discount. They price it as 32K. There you go. Costco does give the savings. There you go. Hey, Dingle Doty, how you doing? Oh, there you go. Bit of trivia. Laura, you live in Manchester. The Midlands Hotel is where Mr. Rolls met Mr. Royce. There you go. Exactly, nobody. Withhold the wealth from the poor and bloody rub it in their faces, and it gets taken by force. That's the history shows us that. Harb, you wouldn't want a Rolls Royce. You want your own mini back. Had lowered suspension, 13-inch thick wheels, race tuned 1430cc engine on it. Could beat anything from a race at traffic lights. Is that like one of the modern minis or a classic minis? Because a lot of the modern minis are beasts. I think. Kirsten likes to point out magnolias are your favorite tree. Guess you can make a tea that will kill your husband with a sap. The magnolias are just coming into flower. There are a few magnolias in my neighborhood, and they're just coming into flower. Pretty spectacular. And then the flowers fall off within a couple of days of opening. Harb, you actually had one of the old, a classic mini, bull-nosed clubman. Ooh, yeah. And them and their low center of gravity, man, you can take corners really hard because they're not going to roll because of how low the center of gravity were. Yes, it's motoring, eh? Motoring. Also, there's weird cars from the 60s I like. The Carmen Ghia Volkswagen. I've always quite liked. Sorry, excuse me. I spent time like it's quite unlike other Volkswagens, but it was a very classy design. I quite liked it. Laura hates Magnolia. There you go. Parents from the Royal Air Force, all interior walls of Magnolia. For 17 years of your life was Magnolia. Oh my God. Kirsten, as you brought up the Magnolia thing on your walk, keep him on his toes. I'll have to mention that to Mrs. Angry, because she probably knows. She's the gardener. Not all, but a lot of her orchids are coming out at the moment. Some of them are very spectacular, including one that I'm very excited. I'm going to share pictures on my socials when it opens. Mrs. Angry actually rescued this orchid plant from the footpath 5 years ago. Like someone had thrown it out, and she went, "But that looks healthy." You know, it was an orchid plant, and so she took it home and has looked after it for 5 years, and it is flowering for the first time in 5 years. And it looks like the flowers are going to be completely different to any of her other orchids, which is a nice bonus. They're not boring. So I'm going to be very excited to post pickies of the rescue orchid when it flowers in the next week or so. Okay, looks trippy. Pickups. You're a big fan of the Costco pizza. It's the best pizza. I don't know. I haven't had it. One of my favorite pizzas is on Lygon Street in Carlton. They do a 4 cheese pizza, quattro formaggi. So good. I can eat a huge fucking one of them. Very bad for me, but tastes very yummy. Oh, wow. Visible Chicken, you told Dad about the whiskey. He's had an $88,000 Remy Martin. Jesus. Harb, you're one of those people who has an objection to pineapple on pizza. Let people. I don't mind pineapple on pizza. Let people live their lives. Get exotic thing. I worked at Pizza Hut when I was at uni, and one of my co-workers, we get to have a meal break if you're on a long shift and have a pizza. One of my co-workers would actually put potato salad on the pizza and swore by it. And since then, very trendy pizza eateries have started to put potato on pizzas, and it is pretty good, actually. Laura, good call. The walls were all magnolia because if you painted white and someone smoked, the paint turns yellow. So just use magnolia. There you go. Yeah, exactly. No, but we're going to die of something. So there's all these things that we enjoy that are bad for us. So yeah. Safi, you think pizza and beer doesn't mix? See, I don't drink beer at all, so I don't know. I thought lots of people did pizza and beer. Abigail with the controversial take. Pizza includes pineapple. Without pineapple, it's weird circle bread with cheese. If you disagree, you're wrong. Laura, you've been really traumatized by this magnolia paint. Your mum wanted to paint the dining room 10 years ago and wasn't 19 years old. It's really traumatized. Oh, God, nobody at work asked if you want anchovies on pizza. Cousin threatened if they put them on, they'd shove it up the guy's ass. Fucking hate anchovies. I worked at, as I said, at Pizza Hut when I was at college, and I hated it when people fucking ordered anchovies. Because you had a little tin of anchovies, these gross, oily, hairy things. You had to peel them off and stick them on the pizza. Fucking gross. Oh, I hated people who ordered anchovy on pizza because I had to touch anchovies when they did that. Ugh. So, yeah. I still don't eat anchovies, but that's my traumatized memory of anchovy pizza, having to actually make it for people. And just really gross, swimming in oil and hairy and of course, this is not like it's fresh anchovies. It's like tin stuff, so they're all squeezed into this fucking rectangular shape from the tin. They had to peel them off because they're all compressed together. Very gross. Yeah. Oh, Laura, you want to take? I was even going to do the hangout tonight. We'll do it soon. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll do the hangouts thingy tomorrow. I'll post the link because I'm going to bed now, so it's too late now. Abigail, did someone say Zoidberg? I saw that episode just the other day. That endless repeats of Futurama on the streaming services. Flicking between channels on Foxtel and sort of like last 5 or 10 minutes of the anchovy episode. Ugh. That was a good show, wasn't it? Futurama was a good show. Yes. So, and why is Matt Groening's most recent effort Disenchanted? Why is that so uninspiring? So it's not terrible. It isn't terrible. It's just uninspiring. Look, there's a place in Logan called Papagino's. No, it's called Cafe Cavallino, and it's covered the interior with a really tacky amount of Ferrari memorabilia, like just a huge amount of Ferrari memorabilia. And they are real Italians who run it. The family who run it are Italian. They obviously have a lot of temporary staff, but the family who run it are definitely Italian. Oh, I don't know where you're going with that, Hub. If anchovies are gross, you'll want to see the reaction of Hakar. That's one I don't actually know. But the world champion of gross foods, and there are some really serious contenders for grossest food in the world. But I feel confident in stating the world champion for gross food goes to the Philippines for a very widely consumed delicacy called balut, which is an egg that actually has a mostly formed chick in it, and it's pickled. and then it's boiled, and so you're going chomp, chomp, chomp. You're actually eating this mostly formed chick. Oh yes, the shark meat they bury for weeks. That's probably second place in the world for grossest food. I am aware of that one, but I feel confident that the world champion for gross food is the Philippine delicacy balut. Is just not good. Is not good. Is it a duck embryo? I'm not sure if it's a particular bird, if it's duck or chicken or whatever. But it's basically a mostly formed chick, and it's just fucking disgusting. Disgusting. I did not even try eating it. I was with people who were eating it and enjoying it. And I was like, I'm just so repulsed at the moment. Yikes. Locust Trooper, you know the balut. Oh dear. Dead by your cousins. Yep. Oh geez. Yep. No, not good. Okay. Now we're going about fermented shark meat, duck embryos. Ugh. Humans. Why are humans? I was going to say, why are humans gross? But just why are humans, honestly, for real? Anyhow, on that cheery note, we'll stop it there, and I'm going to go to bed and dream of gross food. Probably. That's probably a thing that's going to happen. I'm going to dream of gross food. Ugh. Okay, look after yourself, one and all. Annette wants to eat long pig. Okay, cool. That's a whole different sort of party, Annette, if we're going to be eating long pig. But look, yes, I'm going to be back tomorrow night. Hey, maybe if everyone's in the mood, I'll do the share the link, join the stream for anyone who's up to it. Yeah, look after yourself, one and all. Hope to see you again soon. I will bid you farewell.